Hey, what is going on, guys? So if you've already seen my unboxing video for this, then you know that I will be doing a review on this currently. That is what I'm doing today. I already did the unboxing a few weeks ago, so if you want to see that, then I'm pretty sure the link will be in the description. If I forget to do that, it will hopefully be on screen now. If not, you can just go to my channel and, of course, check out the unboxing of that. So I'm not going to be doing an unboxing of this, but anyway, this is the Perixx MX-3000W gaming mouse, of course. This is the mouse itself. It is already unboxed and plugged in, of course, and here is just the box that it comes in. So this is a pretty nice mouse after using it for a while. It is a laser mouse. It has a 30-gram surface tracking speed. It has 8 programmable buttons and a DPI adjustment. You can adjust the DPI anywhere from 600 to 8200, and there are little buttons on the side here, which I'll actually show you when I get into the mouse. But anyway, it is a pretty nice mouse. I will be doing a review of it as if you were using it on a Mac first, just to see, because you can't use the software on a Mac, but it still has quite a bit of functionality on a Mac actually, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so I'll be using it with a Mac first, and then we'll go into the software and all of that later on in the review. So here is just the box that it comes in. We no longer need that. And then, of course, if you already saw the unboxing, you already know this, but as well as the mouse itself, of course, we get a little driver installation disc. We get the nice little canister that the weights come in, because the weights can be taken in and out of this mouse, and you put them in this little canister. And then we get some little sticky pad things that you can put on the mouse if you would like. So as for the actual mouse itself here, I currently have it plugged into a MacBook Pro, so it is not a PC, which shows that it still works with a Mac. Unfortunately, the software does not. However, you can set it up through Boot Camp and whatnot, but I'll be going into the software and stuff later on in the video. So anyway, this is just what the mouse looks like. You can see there's our little Perixx logo on the back. On the side here, we have some opening for our lights, which look pretty good on both sides here. And then one thing that I think is cool, so this is plugged into a MacBook Pro. There is no software or anything. If you push this button here, it actually changes the LED colors on the side, which is really, really cool. I was not expecting it to do that. You just push this button and it changes the LED colors. I'm not sure if it changes the profile or whatnot, because you can't look in the software on the Mac, but if you just push this button, it just changes the LED color, and that's all I noticed. It does not change the DPI or anything, because that is a different button. So this button just changes the color of the LEDs, even if it's plugged into a Mac computer, which is pretty cool, I think. We also have our other buttons here. So you have these 3 buttons here. You can click in the scroll wheel, which currently just minimizes windows on Mac, and then you can, of course, use the scroll wheel. Then you have your left and right click, and then you have these buttons down here, which are your actual DPI adjustments. So there's a little indicator up here, so you can see it is on the second lowest DPI. But if you push this button down here, the plus button, it of course goes to a higher DPI, and then your sensitivity will be insane because it's at 8200 at this one. But you can go down here, it'll be at 600, and then yeah, so it goes from 600, or you put it all the way up, it goes to 8200, which is pretty cool. So you can do that without going into any software or anything. You can just push the on mouse button for the DPI. As for the feel of this mouse, it is just kind of a hard plastic, so it doesn't feel great. I mean, it's a little rubbery around here, I guess, but it's mostly just plastics, and so it doesn't feel super nice or anything, but it also doesn't feel bad, even though it's just a plastic mouse. If you kind of put your hand like this, like using this mouse, there is a spot for your ring finger and pinky finger down here, and your pointer finger and middle finger obviously go up here, and then there's a spot for your thumb down here. So the idea is that you can access your 3 buttons here with your thumb. One thing I did notice is while I'm doing this, I was accidentally adjusting the DPI a little bit, which can really, really mess you up in game. So it's a little annoying to accidentally move your thumb down and then totally mess with the DPI. So a little better placement for that would have been nice, because I personally don't change this very much. However, a lot of mice have the DPI adjustments up here or at the top or something, which I think is a lot worse. So this is better, but I still would prefer them on the bottom or something like that. We do have a pretty nice rubber coated scroll wheel here. You can see it's a little bit textured, so it's not just a rubber piece, but it is definitely textured, and so you can just kind of feel it, and it does feel very, very nice when you're scrolling, because your finger doesn't slip off or anything, because it's rubber and texturized. As for just the overall design of the mouse, you can see what it looks like, of course. There is pretty much silver here, and then the sides are white, and you can, of course, adjust the color, as I've said many times. I think this is pretty cool that you can do this on Mac. Many other mice that I've used, you've had to actually go into the software, which you can't do on a Mac. So the mouse just, you can either set up the mouse on the PC or something and plug it into a Mac, but this one I haven't even plugged it into a PC yet. I mean, well, okay, I plugged it into a PC, but then I reset it and used it on a Mac, and then it just works like this. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you can adjust the lights on a Mac. So That is something I have not seen on another mouse. All of our buttons and whatnot are extremely clicky and tactile. You can just kind of hear the mouse clicky. It's not cheap clicking noise or anything. I mean, it definitely feels like it's a very good high quality mouse, and of course the rubber hood also helps with making it feel higher quality. And at the top you can just see that it is the DPI. One thing that I haven't been able to do on Mac is that you can't adjust this color. I'm not actually sure if you can do this in the software yet. We'll get into it later on. I think you might be able to, but currently you can't change the color light up here. So you can make this red down here, but you cannot make this a different color up here, which is kind of annoying because that doesn't look very good in my opinion. But if you have it in blue, it looks pretty cool, but any other color, not so much. The cable for this mouse is a braided cable, so you won't have any problems with it getting tangled or anything like that. So it definitely will last you a very long time because it's a braided cable, of course. The actual USB is gold plated, so it will be very fast and reliable, and it is USB 2.0, so it's not 3.0 or anything, but it's still a gold plated USB connector, so you won't have any problems with the mouse like freezing or not showing up on screen or anything because it's gold plated, which is very high quality. One thing that I think is very nice with this mouse, I personally don't use mini weight cartridges, but you can adjust the weight in this mouse. So to do that, on the bottom here, you just you just twist this piece open, and then you can kind of pull this piece out. It's a little hard to get out sometimes, but I didn't have much trouble there. So you can see that the weights, there's a little foam area in there for it, and if you want to, you can take these weights, and there are of course 6 of them, as you can see on here. And then you can put the weights in and adjust the weight of the mouse, which is pretty nice. So I think that is pretty much it until we actually get into the software here. So this is just the kind of basis directly out of the box, plugging it into a non-PC computer, or if you plugged into a PC computer and don't use the software, this is everything that you would get. You can adjust the colors and the DPI and everything, so you can pretty much use this mouse without any software, and it's still customizable, which is really, really cool to see. However, if you would like to use it with software, and then you can customize even more, of course, but this is what you get out of the box. So we'll go ahead and get into the software now. Alright, so this is the actual software side of things. I mean, I just put the disk inside of the computer, so we'll actually install the software. I've already installed it, so it'll probably say that I've already installed it, but I'll just go ahead and go through the installation process again. When you first put in the little disk, I'm, again, not sure if this is available online, but I will check. I mean, you can check online, but anyway, if you want to install it through the disk, which is probably the easiest way, you would just go and of course put the disk into your computer. And so here you are presented with the manual, the gaming mouse setup, and then the gaming mouse setup, which is a DE version. So we're going to go with the gaming mouse setup because we don't need to read the manual. So we'll go ahead and open this. It will ask for permission, and then you will be greeted with this little thing that says setup language. We'll go English. I'll keep moving this over. Next, and then we'll solid state. Let's install it to here, and there you go. Anyway, we'll just put it there. So go ahead and install it to there, and then it'll create a shortcut in the start menu, and then yeah, we'll just go ahead and install this. It'll start very, very quickly, and it says in order to complete this, you must restart your computer. So one thing that I did notice is that if you don't actually use the application to restart your computer, then it just won't recognize the mouse. So what I did is I closed the application, and then I restarted my computer, and it didn't recognize the mouse, so I had to uninstall it and then use the application to make it restart my computer. So that is one thing. If you are having a problem and it says it doesn't recognize the mouse, what I would do is uninstall the software again and then reinstall it when it says you must restart your computer in order for this to work. Instead of pressing restart later, like what should work, you have to actually press restart now, and then it will recognize the mouse. So that is one thing. If you restart your computer, it won't recognize the mouse unless you restart it through their software. So that is one thing that's kind of annoying. Another thing that I don't really like is just there's not really any branding to it or anything. It just says Top Gaming Products, and that's the name of the software rather than the name of the mouse and some like the model number of the mouse from Perixx or something like that. It's just Top Gaming Software, which is kind of weird. So I mean, sorry, Top Gaming Equipment, but that's the name of the software, which is just really, really weird and pretty odd. So anyway, you can just kind of open up here, and this is what you are greeted with. You can see in the lower right hand corner or left hand corner, I don't know where I'm going to put this actually, you can see the mouse here. So it is currently set to a purple color, and so these are just the things that you can do. The software isn't super complicated, which is nice, I guess, but you can change the click to bunch of different things. You can totally disable the button, which is pretty cool. What I personally like is that if you really wanted to, you can actually disable the DPI keys, because they're on the side rather than on the bottom or something. You could very easily accidentally push them. So it's very cool that you can disable them, because a lot of different software for mice, you can actually disable the DPI thing, so it's really cool that you were able to do that here. If you don't want to disable them, you can just set them to something different. So even though they are dedicated DPI switches to start out with, you can actually change them to a bunch of different things, like the volume up, volume down, pause, play, all those different things. And what's cool is you can have a bunch of different profiles. So if you have one that's like dedicated to music listening or something, you can have this to you set your volume, this to skip songs and all of these things. But this is currently set to the LED color switch, and you can of course change all these things. As I was showing earlier on the Mac side of things, it starts out with these basic things, but if you of course change them, then it won't really work on Mac, and you'll have to go back on the PC in order to change the settings again, so you will be able to change the colors and stuff on a Mac. But if you are just using it with Mac, then you won't be able to change any of these things, so you don't have to worry about it. So these are our different profiles here. You can of course see all the different things. What's nice is it actually points to which button is going to modify, and you can just change to menu. I don't know why we do that. Actually, you can change it to macro. And then what's pretty cool is you can set the macro name, and then you press the key to assign the button. So we can press J, and then it will do a bunch of different things, which is really cool. You can insert a delay, so you can set it up to do a series of commands, which is really cool. And you can set each button to do an individual one. So that's definitely something that's very cool. And you can save the configurations or load them and all those different things. So if you want to have more than 5 and you just want to save them, then you can just do that, and then load them onto each profile when you want to do that. Control, you can just go into color control. Of course, it is currently set to green apparently, even though it is purple. So we can set it to blue, and we'll press apply. You can see that the mouse kind of freaks out for a bit, and then it finally changes to blue. And you can of course change the lighting effects so that you can change it to pulse, or you can change the intensity of the light. So we can do low, and it'll do a steady pulse, and we'll make it a greenish color. We'll press apply. You can see that it freaks out for a bit, and then eventually changes color, and then it should be a steady pulse, so it shouldn't be pulsing at all, but the intensity should be lower. However, if we turn it off and do fast, let's see what that looks like. I would assume it would just turn the LED light off, but maybe that didn't do anything. Oh no, alright, so it just turns the LED light off. So if for some reason you don't want to have the LED light, then that is an option as well. One thing that I wish they would have incorporated is you can actually change the color of the DPI lights at the top. So even if you aren't going to use the DPI switcher, you can't change these colors, which is a little annoying. I think it'd be cool if you could change these, because blue doesn't necessarily go with everything. So if you have it like, let's go with yellow here. So if you have it yellow like this, then yellow and blue actually goes decently well, but if you had a different color, it just really detracts from the look of the mouse if you have to have this part up here blue, which you do. So it would be really nice if you could change the color of this up here, because blue doesn't go with everything, and if you made the entire mouse one color, it would look really good. So this mouse looks very good on blue, but because you can't change these colors at the top, it can look really ugly with a bunch of different colors. My only complaint is the name of the software, and there isn't like really anything. I mean, it shows the mouse that you're editing, but there isn't a Perixx logo. It says nothing to do with Perixx or anything. So it would be really cool to actually have the name, the actual name of the software. Like, you're just gonna say Top Gaming Mouse Equipment, and that's the name of the software. So it's really hard to recognize on your computer, and you're like, what is that? If it's been a while. So it'd be cool if there was some more branding or something. Just, I don't know, something to make it not so generic. I'm kind of surprised that this is software for it, but you know, it works pretty well. It changes things. The LED lights take a while to change, and it flickers and freaks out whenever you change something, but it does in fact work. And you can change the sensitivity, mouse speed, mouse scroll speed, double click speed, DPI settings, and the polling rate, and all of these different things. So if you want to do that, you can totally mess around with it. It is just like any other software for any other gaming mouse. You really won't see a huge difference in this compared to other ones. However, it does the things it needs to do, and you can just customize your mouse how you would like. However, it still is a very good mouse for Mac users. On the PC side of things, with the amount of customization and stuff you can do, it's okay, but you can't change the color of this LED, so I really don't like that fact. However, if you constantly have it on blue, it looks really, really good. And so I think this mouse, you can change about the average amount in the software. However, the software is not great. And so I think this is a better mouse for Mac users that just want a customizable mouse straight out of the box. So if you are wanting to customize the color and the DPI, you can do that just by plugging it into a Mac without any software or anything. And so it's a really, really good mouse until you kind of get into the software, and then you realize that it's, I don't know, the software is a little tacky and it doesn't have any personalization from Perixx or anything. It's just generic and named Top Gaming Mouse Equipment. And so it would be nice to see a little better software. However, it does what you would like it to do. I hope I covered everything that you would expect me to cover. If I missed something or you have a question or something, then please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you have some constructive criticism or something that you would like to see me do better in a future video, then I of course always accept that criticism. I'm always looking to improve, so let me know if you see something that I could have done better. This has been Jordan for Joe Reviews. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.